Welcome back guys, it's tomilego here, and in this video I'm going to compare the Volkswagen T1 camper van from 2011 with 1334 pieces with the Volkswagen T2 camper van from 2021 with 2207 pieces. So yeah, I think let's start the comparison right now. So the first thing you can probably realize is the size difference. So obviously the T2 is much bigger, and that's because it has almost 1,000 more pieces than the T1 camper van. So yeah, the next thing you can probably see is that the T2 has a much wider range of accessories. So it has changeable license plates, a brick separator, two of these cool foldable camping chairs, and also this very cool surfboard. While the T1 camper van doesn't have any of these accessories, it doesn't even have a changeable license plate or like a brick separator. So yeah, the set is just like this, while the T2 camper van contains much more stuff. So yeah, at the front here you can see, just get a little closer. So the T2 camper van has the spare tire on the front, while the T1 doesn't have. Of course, it's much more popular to have the spare tire on the front in the T2 camper vans than in the T1s. So yeah, I think the front is better of the T1 because I think it's much more realistic than the T2 one. I don't quite think that this is very realistic. I think the T1 is more realistic than the T2 from the front, of course. Then if we turn them around, actually the T2 is of course much more heavier as well. So yeah, if we turn them around, I think the T2 is the better. I think that's much more realistic than the T1 from the back. So from the front, the T1 is more realistic, but from the back, I think the T2 is more realistic. So yeah, although I think both of them look pretty good. So of course, if we turn them to the side like this, then you can see that both of them have openable doors, just like this. So yeah, this T2 one is of course a newer model, and the door mechanism is solved much smoother than the T1, but it still works pretty nicely. So yeah, in the front here you can see that the T1 has this big bench in the front, while the T2 already has the two separate seats in the front. So yeah, now here is a very big difference, that the T1 doesn't have any steering, while the T2 can be steered both from the inside and with this spare tire in the front. So you can see that the steering wheel is also spinning, but unfortunately it's a little bit hard to spin it with the ad. But yeah, like this, it's very good. It can be also seen how it spins. So yeah, of course this one is better than this with the steering, because of course this doesn't have any steering, and this can be steered from both either inside and either outside. So yeah, at the back you can see that both of them is just like empty. But if you turn it around, then both of them have the side doors at the back as well. Of course, both of them also have the front doors. Actually, I think the interior of the T1 is better than the T2. Like, you also have some leg space, while here there's not too much leg space, only the mechanisms for the steering, also this big place here. So yeah, I think the interior of the front is better for the T1, but of course the T2 can be steered. So yeah, both of them have the good and the bad side as well. So yeah, the openable side doors, while the T1 is only solved like this. So of course in real life the T1 also has this kind of opening doors, while the T2 has the sliding door in real life as well. And Lego added a very nice feature here that if you press the button down, then it comes out and then you can slide it. So yeah, I think that that's a very nice play feature. While here you can just open them manually. Of course, in real life in the T1 it also opens like this, and it opens like this in the T2, but it's nice that they've added this cool feature. Then I think let's move on to the top before or we check out the inside. So you can see that both of them have some storage. So here you have this more like detailed storage, but you don't get anything to put there. While here you have the storage in the front. It's not so detailed, but you get the two chairs which you can put there. Of course, you can put both of them next to each other, although the surfboard doesn't have any storage. You can only put it in the inside of the camper van. So yeah, the next cool feature which both of them has on the top is the pop-up roof. So you can see that the T1 is just not so well. It's cool, but it doesn't work as well as the T2 because this has some much better mechanisms inside, so it pops up much easier, and of course it's much larger as well because yeah, in real life it was like this also. So yeah, the T2 one definitely works much smoother because of course it has newer designs. Sometimes the T1 also doesn't work. You have to press the bricks together so it works. Sometimes the inside comes apart behind the cloth piece, that orange piece, but yeah, mostly it works pretty nice. So yeah, I think the winner of the pop-up roof is the T2 because it works much smoothly and perfectly. So yeah, now let's check out, oh sorry about that roof. Let's check out the back of the camper van. Just turn both of them to the back. So you have the engine detail in both of them, so you can open it up. So as you can see, it's a much easier openable function like this. Here you have this much more complicated one, so it can open up in a small place, while this one just like opens up. You can also see the hinge pieces over there, while this one has that mechanism inside, so it can open up in a very small place as well. And actually the engine detail can be seen better from the outside on the T1, while the door mechanism is much better, I think, on the T2. So of course you can open up the back as well on both of them. So I think the like this is much smoother and it opens better than the T1, but I think the T1 better because it doesn't have this place on the top. So like the T2 folds up about like here, so it has that ugly space on the top when you open it, while the T1 opens from the top. So yeah, that's probably better, but here when you close it down you can see those pieces, which isn't so good. So yeah, both of them has the back or the bad and the good also. So yeah, now I think let's get off the roof. So on the T1 it's much easier to get off the roof. You just like get it off, while the T2 you have to open this up and then slide it out. So it's nice that they've solved this because it's much stronger and it doesn't fall off so easily. But if you want to get it down quickly, then the T1 is better. So now let's check out the interior details, and let's put them next to each other. That's probably the best way. So on the top here you can see that the T1 is like much smaller, of course, in the side, so it's much more cramped, while the T2 is very spacious and has a lot of space in it. So of course you have the fold down bed in both of them. So before we take a look at that, I think let's take a look like this one is not folded down. So you have this small sink here, this bench here, the table, and another bench and some storage here. You also have a painting or a picture there, and you have this cool cupboard with the t-shirt inside which says make Lego models, not war. While in this one you have this big kitchen place all over here. Of course this is just like a shelf, but here is the main kitchen part. You have the sink, the teapot. You can also open the doors, so you have a fridge there, and the gas. So the fridge and the, of course, the gas place up here can work. So yeah, it starts that they've added this as well. While here you have just an empty like cupboard or storage under the sink. So yeah, the kitchen part is better of the T2, but it doesn't have like a cupboard to put your t-shirt or clothes inside, so that's better in the T1. Actually, both of them have the curtains. They are solved in different ways, but yeah, they are pretty good. So yeah, now I think let's take a look at the foldable chairs and tables. So in this one you just fold the table like this, then pull up a little bit the bed, and then like this. It's much easier to fold it down, I think. While this you have to fold down that, then pull it a little bit forward, and then push it down, and like this. So I think in the better thing is in this one that you have this tiled place in the back, so the bed is much longer. It doesn't only consist of the chair, while in this one it only consists of the chair, so it doesn't have any extra place back there. So yeah, I think it's better that the bed is longer in here, and you still have an extra place to sit when the bed is folded down, while here you can only sit in the front of the car when the bed is folded down. So yeah, I think the bed is actually better in the T1, but if we take that how easy it is to fold it down and up, then I think the T2 is much better, because it's just like this. You fold it down and back the table, while in the T1 it's much harder, I think. So the bed isn't so hard, but it's hard sometimes to get under the table, your fingers under the table, and pull it back up. So yeah, I think it's much easier to fold down and up the T2. So yeah, although I think both of them are very nice, but I think the interior is actually better of the T1, because it doesn't feel so empty. So yeah, it's much more cramped, so it doesn't look like it's empty, while this is very spacious, so it looks kind of like empty. And yeah, this doesn't even have any cupboard or storage here like the T1 has, but the bigger bed is like much wider because of that, and you also have this table part over there. So yeah, I think both of them have very nice interiors. So yeah, now let's put back the roof. Actually, it's easier to put back if it's folded. The pop-up roof or tent is folded down. So yeah, I'm very happy with both of these camper vans. In real life, my favorite car is actually the T1, so possibly that's the reason I like better the T1. I think it has like more realistic front. So yeah, I think I like the T1 better. But yeah, as I mentioned, it's or probably or possibly just because I love T1s better, like in general. Although I like T2 camper vans as well, and this one also has some very nice functions, like the pop-up roof works better, also has that cool sliding door, the steering both from the interior and exterior. So yeah, both of them are very good. They are good in different points, so different uh, things. Like this one has better functions, but this one I think is more realistic. So let me know your opinion of these two amazing sets in the comment section below. And yeah, make sure to check out the detailed review of the T2 and also the T1, because I've done detailed reviews of both of them. So yeah, make sure to check out those. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and goodbye.